Before we get into more technical Notion videos, which will follow this one, I want to share a series of higher level conceptual thoughts on Notion, evolving toward the end of this video into a remarkable sci-fi future that's entirely plausible, a future that may be close for Notion and systems like Pillars, Pipelines, and Vaults that are built on Notion. The later part of this video will be about looking at how far we've come on this platform and comparing it with its potential to deliver a new world of possibilities for life enhancement, mind expansion, thought empowerment, and personal growth. When I started this channel, the very first video was called Notion Changes Everything. Since then, we have seen Notion's rise as a dominant platform, while other software tools have trended and risen, then lost steam and faded just as fast. Notion continues to prove its staying power, becoming better and better with more and more people adopting it for wide-ranging use cases. Notion's stated mission is to make toolmaking ubiquitous. By the last reported stats I've seen, Notion has a $10 billion valuation. It has over 30 million users, over 4 million of which are paying users. It's getting stronger and stronger, but it has barely tapped the potential. It's not even near mainstream yet. Many of us in this space take Notion's broad user base for granted, but the vast majority of people outside of our narrow online circles have not even heard of it. It is not well known, which means there's an immense amount of untapped room to expand. Notion is still just getting started, which is where that $10 billion valuation comes from. Today, Notion is far better software than even just a year ago. The release rate of thoughtful new features and enhancements has been impressive. Automations, groundbreaking internal AI, an elegant calendar app, a new formula, custom coding language. Notion continues to redefine the leading edge of all-access personal software development platforms. Yet despite this industry-leading momentum, I am saddened by the dispersion I see of the once unparalleled community of Notion users. We've lost energy and engagement in genuine Notion discussion and support in the central gathering spaces. We seem to be losing the central gathering spaces themselves. They've been overrun by the peddling of redundant, regurgitated templates. There's a lack of innovation and decline in camaraderie and passion for our shared enthusiasm in working with this platform. We are a community of enthusiastic explorers, and I want to get back to that. This decline is only apparent because the Notion community started out so extraordinary. It was like nothing I'd ever seen around a software product, or any product. In one sense, the change has just been a movement toward a more normal product-consumer relationship. No tragedy there. But the passion level for Notion was never normal. Notion has generated such extraordinary mutual support and camaraderie, with amazing central gathering places filled with generosity and compassion and outright joy. Combining this community history with the product being better than ever and continuing on the ascent, I believe the Notion community can be revived and surpass its former glory. I want to encourage and support such efforts. We are not done yet. The Notion community should be building and rising as Notion continues to do so. Not just through template products, but through a shared sense of personal journey and discovery. Do you agree with my take here? Or do you see other factors? I've asked a range of Notion community friends. There seemed to be a consensus along these lines. How can we rekindle the passionate Notion community? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's discuss. Back to my first video on the channel titled Notion Changes Everything. Has Notion changed everything? Will it? Notion's stated mission is to make toolmaking ubiquitous. It's indisputably succeeding in that direction. What has Notion changed so far? Freedom to personalize, liberation from a lot of commercial software. We now have one central place that can do a lot of things that we used to have a lot of fragmented tools all doing a piece of. That cohesion in one universal integrated app is a big step forward. It's also enabled more flexible creative collaboration. We can now work more seamlessly with teams and groups, and Notion has been combining siloed elements of our life, of our work, into a coherent, interconnected system. That's what this channel is focused on. Notion enables enhanced life clarity on the right path if you apply the right system design. It provides enhanced access to the right information at the right place, in the right context, if you have the right system design. It fuels enhanced thinking and personal team performance. Once again, if you have the right system design. The counterpoint is often that Notion does many things, but none of them particularly well. This completely misses the point that Notion leaves it up to you to design the system. Notion can suck if your system build sucks. Notion can be extraordinary if your system build is extraordinary. Of course, a specialized tool can have a more optimized interface for that singular task. I prefer the task management interface of Todoist to the task management interface of Notion. However, a custom dashboard for each project in Notion is far more effective at accomplishing major life objectives than a list of tasks in a task app, regardless of how pretty that task app looks. And directly, tangibly connecting my tasks to projects and my projects up the alignment path to my highest aspirations in life is worth so much more to me than a more polished task interface. Connecting my daily actions to my life aspirations is the most powerful aspect of the Pillars, Pipelines, and Vaults Notion system. It was the original reason for PPV's creation. And that delivers so much more value in my life than a polished interface. Plus, with Notion's rollout of multiple apps serving as interfaces for various functionality, this interface gap will close soon, I believe. More on that in a minute. There are, of course, other valid criticisms to Notion. No offline mode, and it is slower to open and load than other software with more focused functional objectives. Cloud-based software has pros and cons. As with everything, there are trade-offs. And no single software platform will be right for everyone. But the upside of the Notion cloud-based system is a far greater breadth of functionality and sync and collaboration and system build possibilities. If offline functionality is a top priority for you, then Notion is not right for you. That's okay. There are other great options, though they will not do the range of things that Notion does. Then again, offline, many alternatives will do a lot more than Notion without a connection. It is what it is. Trade-offs. With as far as Notion has come, how might we expect Notion to change in the future? After the recent release of the standalone Notion calendar app, Notion's COO, Akshay Kothari, tweeted on X, "One small step toward a multi-product world." This sparked a lot of discussion. On X/Twitter, I initiated what became a long discussion about playing the Notion App Infinity Wars, where we speculated on the top 5 Infinity apps to collect and place in the gauntlet that is Notion itself. Akshay also posted, "We want to double down on bringing database power to the masses, while making it sound less scary to the average person." So we now have a lot of speculation on an ecosystem of standalone apps from Notion. How is this better? It addresses the interface issue mentioned above, giving us a more polished front end with our core systems for high-volume interactions, and it leads to greater integration among commonly used apps that the core Notion platform has not replaced. And it will likely lead to offline capabilities for the most used functions with our Notion systems. Naysayers say that it's moving away from the all-in-one objective. But not really. We always needed other apps. It was never truly, entirely all-in-one. And these other apps were never well connected to the core Notion background. Better connectivity to outside Notion apps is particularly needed for those of us using Notion as a central life system. Notion rolling out its own ecosystem of apps ensures well-integrated software to play well together, eventually, over time. So many of us have speculated on what may be next in this Notion app ecosystem. Popular guesses have included a Slack-like messaging tool, email, a task app, a forms app, and/or a drawing or whiteboard app. But an app ecosystem is tactical and technical. On a more conceptual level, how might Notion change the world we live and work in? I think it has barely scraped the surface of its potential to open up personalized software for all. We will be able to craft the tools we each want to greater and greater degrees. Tools by experts in the field, not developers. Imagine the leaders or innovators who work in each individual field building the software for the broader field, or better yet, building the software for niches within each field, because it's so easy and accessible to build individualized, personalized software. So instead of developers who don't know these fields, raising money, asking people in the field what their problems are, looking for a problem to solve so that they can build a company, we now have the people actually in the field, actually wrestling with those problems every day, actually understanding the needs of each of these niches within each of these fields, building the software themselves. That is so much better than Silicon Valley entrepreneurs looking for something to build a company around. They're never going to have the level of understanding and insight of what is needed to really address the needs of the day-to-day activities in all those niches within all those fields, really micro niches within niches. We'll also have the ability to interact in natural language with our knowledge hubs and personal life systems, like personal Jarvis systems, in the sense of Tony Stark's AI that he interacts with as he's building machines and contraptions and futuristic devices. We'll have that kind of helper, that kind of voice over our shoulder as we take on our own personal challenges in the world. Think about the kinds of discussions you have with team members. Your system itself becomes a team member to discuss and explore ideas and thoughts with. Or it will enable you to discuss almost anything with yourself, your former self, each of your former selves, at various stages of life, when past experiences were more fresh in your mind, or when you had a better grasp on information in the past. You know how in Notion, we can go in the upper right to an older timestamp of the page and see the historical version of that page. What if you could zoom back to older timestamps in your own life and access yourself as if it were yesterday? How could this enhance your decision making? But then give these virtual versions of yourself the entire knowledge across time of your personal thoughts, reflections, media consumption, project planning, goal development, habits, intentions, and communication with others. All the thoughts you had but forgot, all the inspirational readings and videos that you have long forgotten, all of them in the context of each of your subsequent steps and their outcomes, your reflections, your search for solutions, and your meaning in each subsequent stage of your life. Imagine that conversation conducted in natural language, in English or the language of your choice, back and forth like a discussion. This could provide astounding depth and insight. Or think of how valuable this type of virtual therapist could be, with all this knowledge and awareness combined with world-class expertise in human psychology. Or imagine projections of your future self based on your history and your experiences and your current thinking, overlaid with the life lessons of millions of other people, people with both successful outcomes and unsuccessful outcomes in the things you care about. It could project various future scenarios of yourself, each of whom you could discuss ideas and decisions with. Ask these alternate future selves what they most regret at age 90. Wouldn't that be fascinating? To some initial degree, this already exists with the Notion Q&A. I'm not a big fan of the name Notion Q&A because it understates what it is to the point of confusion and lack of enthusiasm. But this will change over time as more people realize how useful it is. Because it's early stage and limited in its first rendition, I suspect Notion's being conservative and doesn't want to overstate it. But just extrapolate what this basic functionality will grow into as the capabilities of generative AI continue to increase at a fast rate. Notion Q&A will get better and better quickly as the entire AI ecosystem is getting better and better quickly. And then it's going to bring this kind of natural language interface to everything that you have built in your personal life system, if you've built a personal life system, which is why I'm so excited about the convergence of Notion, PPV type systems, and AI. It brings unprecedented insight for you into your own life, into your own future, into your own decision making. This is just the first iteration, and it's already so valuable. Imagine how this changes our life system usage strategy. We now want to capture and document more as re-access becomes far more capable with reduced overwhelm. The AI does the searching and curating for us. The signal is easier to find in the noise. Resurfacing in context has always been a leading strength of PPV, But this takes it to another level. Now we have natural language access to our knowledge vault, to our media vault, and our tool, skills, and services vault. The value of capturing relevant information for your life has been dramatically multiplied. Notion AI and Notion Q&A can already empower your system more broadly. You can find anything and can have all past thoughts and inspirations constantly informing your life and work, long after forgotten. Similarly, but even more mind-blowing, the same can be done for teams and groups or families. If actions and ideas and inspirations and challenges are all documented, they will all collectively inform each member of the group. They could identify family members or peers in trouble or in need of guidance. Teams, families, and groups have the potential to grow and pursue common interests with far greater capability. This could empower everyone to learn from the collective wisdom. Collective effort takes on an entirely new meaning. A hive mind working under the rules and values of the family, team, or group. This dramatically increases the importance of clearly establishing values, aspirations, and guiding principles, and then empowering those to drive all progress, further increasing the importance of a life system with your personal purpose and life aspirations well established, as we do at the top of the PPV alignment zone. The power here is not just the AI, but the AI with the full context. In fact, far more context than even you have when making decisions or reflecting, because this includes not only everything you're aware of, but also everything you used to be aware of, everything you've forgotten that once resonated with you and mattered to you, and potentially the wisdom of many who have previously traveled similar paths in life. Past journaled feelings and life experiences, impactful memories, inspirations, fears. Then magnify that beyond yourself to your family or team or peer group, and all that context is factored in. It's just mind-blowing. This will inform your thinking, your reflecting, your decision-making, your support for others, your work, your creative efforts, your contribution to the world. It will make your work more yours, more personal, more informed by your lived experiences and complete thoughts and feelings. And a PPV-style life design system is the most effective way to get the maximum capability out of this new emerging technology by having all of your clearly defined values, personal meaning, life aspirations, and guiding principles established at the top of your life hierarchy. Then to build your routines and goals from that and channel them into your step-by-step action pipelines. To have the history of your goals, projects, habits, actions, and collaborations. To have all the curated influences and your deepest inner thoughts centrally aggregated in your knowledge vault. To have your relationships and mentors and most influential guides channeled into your media vault. Of course, other software will do some of this, but as discussed earlier, nothing we currently have aggregates and interconnects a full life in one place as well as Notion, as easily accessible with as low a learning curve as Notion, assuming you have a well-designed life system built in it. There are, of course, dangers here to privacy of information. However, in a self-curated Notion system, you have control over what you are willing to enter into the system training the AI. This is not like OpenAI and the others scraping everything they can get their hands on. In what I'm describing here, you control the source material that the AI has access to, and only you have access to the AI output results from your own curated data. A single umbrella like Notion makes it possible for a strong, clear, singular privacy policy from a single entity, Notion, to enable privacy. Alternately, splitting your information across many platforms means less possibility of strong privacy controls. So I say it once again, as I did in the very first video title on this channel. Notion changes everything. For real. And it's just beginning. I think this is the most extraordinary time in history to be alive. We are fortunate to be here at this precipice, and we all have the ability to contribute to how it unfolds. Let's be active and engaged in the conversation. If you'd like to go on this journey with me, this YouTube channel and the newsletter are the two central places to engage. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for notifications. Join the newsletter at the link in the description below. And if you want to see how I'm creating content and building the business to drive this mission, check out my other YouTube channel called Create and Build, linked below in the description. Lots more to come.